To start, the first thing we're going to do is get some clips for our movie. So first go to Safari, and then in the address box, go to this teacher's website, which is mrwiesner.com. And I'll zoom in on that for you. mrwiesner.com, mrwiesner.com. Remember, you can pause this video at any time you need to if you need more time for something. Press go. You'll come to this web page that has lots of information, and you can either scroll down to video editing tutorial, which is right here, or you can probably find it in the list of projects here. It happens to be right there. When you go to the tutorial page, you'll notice that there is the mission, learn to use video editing program to make a short movie, and there's the iPad experiment, and that's really what we're doing right here. If you do not have an iPad, you could do this using pretty much any computer. It could be a smartphone or a desktop or laptop computer. It doesn't really matter, a tablet computer. You could use these lessons here to learn how to make a movie on Movie Maker for a Windows computer. And this is how it would look as you were working on finishing that movie. Okay, so please click on this link here where it says iPad experiment. This is going to take you to a folder, a Dropbox folder, with lots of photos that I took around my house. So they're basically just nature photos, and you get to choose whichever ones you like to include in your movie. Now, one small note, some of these are photos and some of these are videos. If they're videos, they'll have a little video link down here. Okay, so first we're going to save 4 of these. So you may choose which of the 4 you want. I'm going to choose this one. First thing you're going to do is you're going to open it. It'll open like this. And then on the right-hand side, down over here on the right-hand side, you'll see these 3 little dots. You're going to touch those 3 little dots. It's going to say More Actions. You're going to touch it again, and it's going to say Download and View Original Image. Now they're probably both going to do the same thing, but go ahead and click Download and let's see what it does. You can see it's working up top here, and it's bringing that high definition image right into Safari, your web browser. Okay, now to save this to your camera roll, just touch it and save the image. So that's one. Let's click on back 2 times, actually 1 time, 2 times, yep, there we go. 2. Not too far forward. And then choose, I guess we can click the X right here to close that. Then choose a second image. And download your second image. You get to choose whichever second image you want. It's really up to you. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get the download link there. So I guess I got the apples image. These are natural apples, no poisonous sprays or anything. So they were just growing all summer long on their own. Save that image. And then I think I said 4, right? So let's choose 2 more. Just looking for some colorful ones. Maybe these tulip bulbs. Download. Remember, after it downloads, you have to save it. That way you'll be able to import it into your camera roll. Okay, one more to go. 4 images. And I think I'm going to get this little yellow flower. All right. Save that. Okay, now once you've saved all 4 images, now you're going to put them into Splice. That's a pretty straightforward proposition. You do have to set Splice up a little bit, usually the first time you run it. I've got to find it in the first case. And after you set it up, it might ask for your first name and your last name. Then you can create a project. To create a project, you press on the plus sign. So go ahead and do that. Okay, for this project, you're going to type in today's date, starting with the year. So 2013, space, and I'm going to put 09 for September. So the next part's the month, 2 digits for the month, then another space, and then the day of the month. So I'll put 10 for the day of the month. So September 10th, 2013. And then put your name. I'm just going to use Smith John as the sample name. You put in your own first and last name. And then the last part we're going to do is what hour you are in class. So if you are in school and you're in class, then put down hour 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're not in school, if you're doing this home, you could just put a 0 in there. So I'm going to imagine I'm in 8th hour. And then finally, you're going to put the name of this project, and this is called the tutorial project. So capital T-U-T-O-R-I-A-L. Make sure you have that all right before you press done. Done. Okay. Now, a splice is going to ask for several settings. So let's take a look at what these settings are. First of all, you can do high definition or standard definition. Standard definition has a 4:3 picture, and the standard high definition is widescreen. So we're going to do widescreen, high definition. Border, there are some choices for different borders that could be put on there, but for this project we are not going to use a border. So just keep it on none, click cancel. Orientation, there's 2 choices, either landscape or portrait style, which would be, the other way of saying that would be horizontal, side to side, or vertical, which would be, turning your device or your screen sideways. Normally, for almost all movies, we're going to be done landscape style. I've only seen a couple instances where it makes sense to do it portrait style, although there may be more out there. Finally, the default transition, that's between your clips. When you go from one clip to the next clip, what's it going to look like? So there's several choices. There's the crossfade, a slide left, a fall, a grow, and a shrink. We're just going to use the crossfade for now. We may change that later on. So just leave these as they are, click done. And now you'll see Splice brings up an opportunity or a choice for you to add either a title, a transition, or a media clip, a photo or a video. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to add a photo from our camera roll. And you'll need to scroll to the very bottom of your camera roll and select the very last picture, the last one that you saved. Go ahead and click on done. Okay, it should appear right in your clip right there, and then press preview to see what's going to happen. All right, it's going to make that into a little movie. You click the center, it's going to play it. Not a very exciting movie at the moment since it's just a picture. Click on Project, and now let's add some more clips. That'll make it a little more interesting. So to add more clips, you touch the center of any clip, and then you can either add clips before or after. So I'm going to add clips after by pressing the plus here, and then photo video. Camera roll, go to the bottom, and this time let's select the rest of the clips that you saved. Don't select the same one again though that you already have in there, or it'll be in your movie twice. Okay, go ahead and click Done. It's going to ask add transitions. Would you like to default transitions inserted between all the imported photos and video? Yes or no? Just say no for now. Of course, you could always, if you have an iPad or if you're doing video editing with a different device, you can always choose what you're going to put where. All right, now let's reorder these a little bit. Go ahead and grab the apples or one of the ones in the middle and move it to the end. Now I'm going to show that again. You hold down, it's going to turn into the smudgy color, and then you pull it over and you can put it in a new position. I'm going to switch these two right here. Hold your finger on it, it's going to get a little bit bigger. See how it did that? And then you slide it just a little bit, and they're going to switch spaces, and then you can let go. Right here, you can see where they're at, and you can also switch between by pressing these up top here. You'll notice there's times here. It says 0 minutes, 0 seconds. 0 minutes, 5 seconds. So this photo is going to show for 5 seconds. This one will show from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. It's the second of 4 clips. 10 to 15 seconds, and 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is just preview it real quick and press play. And you can see we've got all 4 of our pictures in there in that order. They're going to show one after the other. So really that's the first step to make a movie here. We need to insert the clips. We need to select which clips are good clips, insert them in there, and then we can start making our movie. Okay, please let's click on Project and let's go back to our project now. Let's do a little something with these pictures so they're just a little bit more interesting. You'll notice the pencil icon here. Touch that, and then you'll notice a cropping tool right here. Touch that. I'm going to press cancel so we can look at that again. So there's a cropping tool just there. Go ahead and touch that. And let's shorten the duration here to 1 second. Okay, click Done. And then do that for the rest of your pictures. 1 second, done. Go to your third picture, crop. 1 second, done. And the last one. Remember, you can pause this video at any time. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed Add a Clip, so I'm just going to click X to get rid of that. I meant to press the pencil. Crop, and then the duration here, that's how long it's going to be on the screen. It could be anywhere from 10 seconds down to 1 second. We're going to make that 1 second, and then touch Done. Alrighty, so we've got our 4 clips in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next thing we're going to do is preview it, and now it should play for only 4 seconds, so it should be pretty snappy. Other video editing programs will allow you to make the clips any amount of time as you want. They could be 1 second, 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds, 0.20 seconds. And so Splice is a basic video editing program. It does a very good job given its abilities, you know, what it's been programmed to do. Now let's make these pictures even more interesting. Go ahead and click on your first one, touch the first one, and then go to the cropping tool. And wouldn't it be nice if we could zoom in on this picture? Wouldn't that be a little more interesting? So first let's change the duration to 3 seconds so we actually can see something. And then over here you'll see start and end. It says pan and zoom the start and end points for your video. So let's start zoomed in. So go ahead and zoom in on your picture. Okay? Now, press done, and then press preview. And let's see how that looks. We're going to play it. All right, that's much more interesting than a still shot. Although if the still shots are going fast enough, that can be interesting in itself. All right, let's go to our next clip. Our next clip, second clip. This time, let's zoom in, but then let's drag it over to the right until we get to the edge of the picture. Okay, so first we zoomed in, oops. So here's the picture. We zoomed in on the picture, and then we scrolled over to the right-hand side of the picture. We dragged it over. While I'm thinking about it, let's change that to 3 seconds for the duration. Now the end, this is what it's going to look like at the end of the 3 seconds. So it's going to start like this. It's going to end like this over here. So go ahead and click on end. You'll see this is how it's going to end. Well, instead of ending with the full photo, let's just zoom in and then scroll over the other way until we get to the edge of the picture. Okay, we don't want really the end to look like that with the black off the edge. We want the picture to still be on there. Okay, now I'm going to reposition that just a little bit so that we see the center of the flower. And once you have 2 different pictures on the left and the right, go ahead and click done. And now let's do our preview again. So first we're going to see the 3-second zoom out, and then we are going to see the zoom across. Okay, and then we have the 2 quick 1-second static pictures. Project. Okay, let's go to our third picture and take another look at what's in there. Okay, this time let's make it very small, as small as we can make it for the first photo, for the start point, and then for the end point, let's zoom like way in to a colorful feature of that picture, and you'll have to choose. Oh, there it is right there. I didn't even know that was in there. There's a little bug in there. And make that 3 seconds also. Okay, go ahead and click done. Remember, you can pause this video at any time, so you have additional time to do the editing. I'm going to click preview. We're going to see our first 2 clips. I'll take a whole 6 seconds, 3 seconds plus 3 seconds. And then we're going to zoom in on the little bug. Now that zoom, I didn't think that zoom was particularly great zoom. Didn't see the bug at first, and it just went kind of fast. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that someone keep a zoom that fast in there. But we move on to the last picture. Okay, so our final look at panning and zooming, and actually we have one additional choice in here, which is called cropping. So touch crop. Now it says still pan and zoom your video up here, but I think what we're going to end up doing is just cropping our photo. So if you just want to have a certain part of the photo showing, you can just crop it. That way we're not seeing everybody else or everything else in the photo. So I don't see any little bugs or animals in this one. Maybe we just want to see part of the apple there. So that would be another choice. Okay, so you've got the crop and the Ken Burns, and I don't know off the top of my head why it says Ken Burns. I do see one thing though that I didn't notice before, and that's this little play button over here. Okay, that's nice. So when you press crop, that's not there. I really like that. Okay, let's just make sure that's zoomed up a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and make this one into some sort of a zoom also. So change it back to Ken Burns, 3 seconds, and give it a start and an end point. Okay, that's nice. Done. Okay, so there we have it. We've got a movie. It's 12 seconds long. And when we preview it, it's going to have some different little zooms onto these pictures. Much more interesting than static pictures. Of course, you'd want to do these carefully so that they don't look just crazy, like they're in there for no good reason. Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to export our video. Go ahead and click on Export. And export means you're making it into a movie. I mean, so far we have the 4 pictures in there. We've programmed the computer basically to run them for 3 seconds each and to do different zooms on them, and to be in a certain order. But now we have to render it as a movie so we could actually play it as a movie or email it to someone or use it on the computer later on without splice. So click on Hi. It's going to say locking, switching applications, or an incoming call will stop the export process. Put your phone, if this was an iPhone, in airplane mode to avoid interrupting a long export. Your video project is being rendered. Rendered is when you're taking a photo like this or any video and you're actually putting it together. In this case, we're making 30 pictures per second. So for every second, there's 30 pictures, 30 frames. Now, a lot of those frames might be more or less the same, zooming in and zooming out, but still, in order to make a movie, you need to have a certain number of frames per second. That's called the frame rate. If you go to a movie theater, it's probably 24 frames a second. If you watch TV, it's probably 30 frames per second, and a computer might be 30 frames or 60 frames per second. There's lots of different choices. It all ends up flowing together so quickly that it looks like a movie. It's going to say rendering is complete, and so now we can sweep over. Actually, we need to open up our photo roll. Go ahead and open up your photos, and your last clip should be the video. So go ahead and touch it and play it. And there it is. All right. In our next segment, what we're going to do is learn about putting in titles.